But today, the 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 unofficial, I guess you'd call it, One Piece chapter just came out, so I'm gonna be doing a recording slash stream here of it. I got the recording on. Yeah, so I can put it up on YouTube later. Uh, so fuck. God damn it, Oda. God damn it. You stop blowing our minds. It's like, what's it been now? I think it's been. Oh, I gotta look here. I think it's been about 7 chapters since we last saw the Straw Hats. Oh my god, that's like month now too though. But Oda keeps bringing out over and over again is this close enough? These um these chapters, this providing us with what else is going on in the world, like he's never done before. He used to just do this right, like post chapters type, post arc style of this, and now he's just bringing it out right in the middle. So what do we have? Well, I think what Egghead, wasn't the egg? Is it Egghead? What's the name of his island? So in this arc where we met Vegapunk finally, and it started around 23 chapters ago, and we had a lot happen there with Luffy and the others. And I think that's called Egghead Island, right? Since I'm doing it this way, I should pull up. I can pull up my some tabs here. I got my computer in front of me here, of course. Is that it? Egghead Island. So, anyways, the last chapter we got this more the Reverie flashback, and we saw other events that were happening there uh, that Oda tuned away from. Reverie happened. What was it now? Chapter shit, 900, the early 900s, I think, and it was like the late 880s, 890s in the episodes in the anime. So it's been a while. So as you see, so for the so that would mean 170 chapters ago. And for the anime, damn, that's been even longer. It's been no, well, it will be. See, what's the anime is in 1063, and oh, come on, and so wait, I can't do the math in my. I can't math today. Oh god. I gotta pull up a calculator. I'm usually good at math, but my brain is trying to keep. Now I'm trying to fill in my memory with all this One Piece stuff because it's been a couple weeks since I did a stream. So we're at 1063. Take away, I don't know, 900. No, I did that wrong. If I could type in the numbers right. Yeah, it's been 160 chap 63 episodes or so, probably, and it's been wait, let me see. I got the episodes here. I won't play them obviously on the stream, so I don't get attacked by someone for some kind of copyright strike. But I can pull them up here on my computer and make sure I mute my television. Wait, let me mute my desktop audio. I think that desktop audio is still on. Yeah, let's mute that. And hold on a second. I want to make sure. I'm just trying to think. It's been so long. I'm trying to think now too. What what episode did the what did Reverie end off with? The main stuff I remember happened here is we saw like Violet and Vivi and Rebecca and Shirahoshi and some who was his allies that were there. The one we saw in the last chapter too. Like now his name's evading my like that. Okay, yeah. So we also had the last chapter. That's right. Bonnie and Sabo we saw had teamed up at um at Reverie during the Reverie arc, and they were running around the castle, and they she was working with him to help him get into there to help try to free her father, and then the rest of it. No, there was 3 parts of it. Then we split. Then we saw Cobra asking what happened to his ancestor, who was the one that because we they laid the foundation here before that that the Nefertiti family, Cobra's family, was one of the founding members of the world government. But we found out in the last chapter that ancestor, which would be like his super great aunt, never made it back to Alabasta, and her brother, so his direct ancestor, Cobra's direct ancestor, he's the one that eventually took he took the throne of Alabasta. He took up that throne. He didn't take it like he wanted it. It fell to him, as they would say, right? And he ruled, and now that's what the lineage Cobra and Vivi are directly related to. And so he was asking here what happened to that, and I'm doing this. No. So we found out about Lily here, and then we also had the little bit where we saw the bit too where Shirahoshi was getting attacked again. Also, yeah, this is the part too where we saw finally how Kuma became how they acquired Kuma, the Revolutionary Army, because we saw them. I think the last time we saw Kuma at Reverie was just when Charles was, or no, what's his father's name? They were walking around riding Kuma, and then we didn't see him again until we saw the Revolutionary Army had him on the island where Ivankov is based. Yeah, I can't think of the name of the island right now again. I keep looking it up, but I can't remember it. So, anyways, so we ended the chapter though. The most important part of this, we ended the chapter with finding out that Imu, this king of the world, was listening into the conversation with Cobra, talking to the Gorosei. So yeah, that's what I should focus on. He wanted to talk to them about Vivi because he had. I'm surprised he never came to them before. It's interesting how he only chose Reverie to do it. I guess the trip would be long from where he is. So Cobra came to them. They asked these questions about about Lily because he had this letter she wrote. Come on. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it that way. And she mentioned the D clan in there, or something about the D. How did I say? Let me pull it up here. Let's see. Why can't I go faster with this? Here we go. Yeah, I gotta refresh myself as much as I'm trying to. That's what it was. So Lily never made it home to Alabasta. I think we figure out why here today, because now, so he came there. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. I am so discombobulated. So he wanted to know about the D clan. He wanted to know about where having a Lily, and he was that it? Yeah, he asked him what the meaning of the D is. That's what it is. That was the big thing. He didn't know it so he didn't know what D. He first somehow was heard about D from a letter from Nefertari. I mean Lily, and then he wanted to ask him what happened to her. That's basically it, I guess I should say. And so the chapter ended with Imu overhearing the conversation and comes out of that room, that garden area she has, or he has. I don't know what it is. I don't know what we should call Imu because we don't have we don't know what the gender is because she is so dark and silhouetted, and Imu comes out, and this is the name Lily at the end of the last chapter, and comes out to the throne room. That is, sits on the throne in front of Cobra, because him and the Goros are at the bottom of the stairs there. So I'm just gonna get into the chapter. I'm just all over the place. Okay, so we begin this chapter with Cobra in shock still that seeing Imu there. And So actually, I just brought up Emu doesn't have. We don't know what Emu is. Maybe a guy or girl. Emu actually speaks in this chapter. So now, obviously, if any of you are watching the anime like I am, now we're gonna be like the first thing on my mind is like, okay, great, Emu's talking here. What kind of voice will they use when this episode comes out? And I'm thinking, let's see, where are we now in Wano? We're getting close to the end of Wano, so maybe we'll get this scene published in the anime end of the year. I want to say, yeah, maybe a little later than that, because they're like releasing an episode every week or so, and we're getting close to the end of Wano. So then we'll have Egghead. Maybe, yeah, I would say in about 6 to 8 months from now, maybe we'll get this chapter in the anime, which is going to be really exciting to see what voice they choose for this. So Emu starts by talking. Emu uh, uh, talks to a Cobra here and says it talks like in a third person in a way, and says I shall address to your questions and answer to your questions, and then you must answer something in return though. And Cobra, ironically, I'm coughing, and so is Cobra a lot in this. God damn it! I just got tickled though. Cobra's got something else. So Cobra, so Emu says his name in a third person while addressing his Cobra's two questions. And Cobra's first thing is like, "Who are you?" That name rings a bell. He said he points out that Emu was the name of one of the 20 founders of the of um of uh of the world government. So this at this point, this kind of puts off the table the theory I was putting into the last chapter review, where I thought maybe Emu was the was Lily. So maybe not really. Maybe it is still Lily, because the fact is Lily's still missing. As far like we don't know what happened to her. And excuse me. And so maybe this is really Lily, and using the name of Emu, one of her colleagues that she worked with when they defeated the ancient kingdom. Uh, and Emu just says, Emu says, I'm not even gonna answer your question on that. You don't need to know that. And actually, I like the way the tank the way Emu answers, because it sounds like Emu is a very well spoken person. Because I wonder how the Viz one will come do this. But in here, Emu's answer to Cobra's question about if he is one of the founders of the same name, such curiosity teeters upon impertinence. It would not be dignified with an answer. I'm really interested in that. I know I'm bringing that up because I know some other people sometimes talk about how certain characters have a way of speaking. So like a Kainu, it was brought up in a few chapters ago, where they thought that one girl, that other Navy personnel, the one who was with Kobe, might be a Kainu's daughter, and they were pointing out because she speaks the same way Kainu does. Like he has what was it supposed to be? He's from southern Japan, similar kind of speak to something like that. I don't pay attention enough to that stuff. But now that 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 being brought up before now made me think about this with Emu. So okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. We get some really good lore here too. So Emu starts. Also, we get an interesting shot here where Emu, the angle of this next panel has Emu show. Oda has it drawn from the upper right of Emu, and it looks like Emu might be very tall, like we already kind of guessed, but especially so because like unless that's a robe, there's like a lot of black. The black silhouette look that Emu has goes right down the steps. It looks like a bit. Okay, anyways, so Emu here answers the question about the D by saying that it's the moniker of our ancient enemy, and it's cropped up recently again. But also, I notice the way he keeps bringing it up, the Imu seems both very upset that the D clan is still around, but at the same time keeps dismissing them. And she points out like they're frequently coming back now, but they're still just an echo of what they were. Or no, it's more like they're nothing but a faint echo. I think that's what it's kind of like going for. They're not to be worried about, but they are coming back. And it points out again how they don't even the D clan the living D members like Luffy or Blackbeard don't even know what it means. And this is where it gets interesting. If I can stop coughing. So the way Eames going to present this is that they thought the D clan was defeated, so there must have been some relationship with them to the ancient kingdom that was defeated. Because Imu goes on to say that the only reason the D clan even is still around now is due to a blunder that Queen Lily did 800 years ago. And then he says the same can be said of those irksome scholars that keep investigating the Void Century. And so Imu goes on here. There's an interesting shot here where I show Imu in the silhouette again with the tall crown and her eyes, and and like a cloak. It looks really like he is wearing a cloak here, and he goes on to say, without this blunder, the pirates would not be chasing the poneglyphs anymore in pursuit of treasure, and nor would these Imu calls them vexing relics, and they would not have been scattered all over the world. So I'm gonna pause there and go over that minute. The poneglyphs then must have been in the possession of the world government, and maybe they sounds like they were made. Is that determined they made them in Wano? I think that's what they. I think that was established that they were made in Wano when we had the Odin flashback or something. I forget what that was. Anyways, he implies here. Imu implies that they must have had the possession of these poneglyphs after they won the war against the ancient kingdom, but these things now are scattered all over the world. So it sounds like Queen Lily is the one that got rid of that spread the poneglyphs out, or had them dispersed to avoid the world government from possessing them. So really, also I got to bring up here, this is interesting now if what I'm implying here is correct. So what I'm thinking here, I'm wondering with this implication of, no, is that implication? I'm thinking here with the way, excuse me, the way Imu says this about Lily. I wonder if Lily ended up working with Joy Boy and or the Poseidon Princess from back then to help disperse these poneglyphs to the various locations we have seen the other ones. Like the one on Zone, the one in Wano, the one I don't know. We don't know. I don't think we know where Big Mom acquired her poneglyph, but they're all over the place. Yeah, and actually, Imu even goes on to point that out. First, Imu says like the poneglyphs being spread out across the world was a horrible, worst possible outcome is the word she uses for us. So they did not. The world government, the other 19 monarchs clearly did not want these poneglyphs to be spread out to let the successors, I guess, of the D clan or anyone else to find them. And then that where Imu here and further goes on to say, I wonder if that was really a mistake sometimes that Lily did this, or if it was actually part of some larger plan. So like I just said, I'm thinking Joy Boy and or the Poseidon Princess from back then may have been working with Lily to do this plan to help someday allow people to have the information they need to figure out how to overthrow the world government's grip on the world. Excuse me. Shit. I had to get a tickle again. At this point, the fucking Gorosei all start pulling out weapons. Well, Samurai Gandhi, and I'm borrowing that name from Tekken 101. He has his own nicknames for the the Gorosei, and we only just recently learned the name of the one with the dreads, and he's like Saint J or something. So the other four all pull out pistols, and Samurai Gandhi starts gripping his sword as if ready to draw it. And looks like they're preparing to finish. They're ready to take out Cobra. They probably thinking that Imu's almost done here, I guess. Okay, so now Imu goes on to say like that letter you have from Lily. Uh, okay, so Lily knows. Okay, interesting. So Lily and Imu goes on to say the truth lies in that letter, and it says, okay, did you deliberately didn't tell us the full name of Queen Nefertari, Lily Nefertari? Please say it out loud for all to hear. And at this point, Cobra realizes he's done, and he's thinking to himself, "Yeah, I'm not leaving this room alive." And then he even tries one time though to say, I take it like I can't say anything to you to convince you to let me go, huh?" And then that mustache one, Gorosei says, "Your fate was already done when you were done once you saw Imu, so we can't let anyone go out knowing that." And Cobra briefly is thinking, well, I shouldn't be too surprised. I just saw the greatest taboo ever that the world of the world government be broken. So, and he's like, all right, well, anyways. So wait, now I gotta pull up. This is what I want to pull up. This is my computer here. Hold on. Wait a minute. Can I? Oh, hold on. I'm trying to do something here. When I get this panel, come on. Oh, god dang it. Oh, I see. Hold on a second. So at this point, this is when we find out. This is where Sabo here has been listening in on the conversation. He's by a door that's off to the left side of the throne room, and he starts listening in as wait, what happens here? Yeah, I want to. God damn it! Come on, pull out. Why is that like that? There. So as Sabo is over listening into this part of the conversation, uh, Cobra now answers Emu's question and point out, well, the truth is, in that letter, when Queen Nefertari signed it, it was actually signed Queen Nefertari D. Lily. And then we see Emu's two panels with Emu's eyes, where it's just staring at him, and then the next one you can tell Emu's pissed and slowly and says the word D, like very like it's like chewing on the letter, and then suddenly we see this. This is what I'm thinking. What we're getting a sign of Emu's power. Uh, this spear, this arrowhead-looking thing attached to like a tentacle, I guess you could call it, comes out from the side of the throne room and stabs Cobra here. Yeah, what is that? Cause, and then at that point, Sabo jumps out to try to help. He leaps over into the room, and he jumps out in front of Cobra to try and protect him. And in this next panel, we see all these dark silhouettes that look somewhat like animals and a couple kind of like devil things. Very, like, maybe if I turn it this way, let me see. No, that's better when I look on my computer. Hold on here. I'm gonna bring this back a little. So hold on here. This part gets very interesting. We get a double spread here, and it's hard to like match this up on my screen so I can see it nicely without scrolling. And it's like Sabo jumps in. And he's like, "Crap! I was gonna try and take you guys all out in one move, but it looks like that chance went by." And this is the part too we see. This is the part where we see Denden Mushi's there, and it gets that snapshot of him, Sabo, standing over uh, King Cobra there. That we saw was used. Oh, son of a bitch! We saw was used in the paper later. And at this point, Cobra Cobra's still not dead, and he sees Sabo there and it's like, "Oh, you must be Luffy's brother, yes?" And and I think he goes on like, "I know you're with the Revolutionary Army, but you chose to save me anyways." Hold on a second. Get a text here. Damn it! This always happens. All right, anyways, and Sabo points out, well, yeah, like my concern is not with someone like you who's ruling nations, but mostly with these people, the celestial dragons and whatnot that rule over over you guys. So I'm not gonna just let an old man get killed. Basically, saying like so very. I wasn't really thinking about that part. When Sabo was standing over King Cobra, I was thinking he just stepped into the room right after he was stabbed and by Imu, but he jumped in here to try and protect Cobra. So yeah. Then he goes. So Sabo's like, "Oh, how do you know my brother?" And and Cobra's like, "He once stepped in to save me as well." This and then Sabo's like, "Yeah, that sounds like him." And then they start running out of the have to start running out of the room. The next panel is him holding King Cobra over his back and like that fireman's, what do you call that? The fireman's hold. And we see this big panel with all those dark creatures pursuing him, and it was like these big eyes at the top. And I don't know if that's supposed to be emus, like commanding them essentially. But there's no really words there, but it just shows him running, and then Cobra tries to help Sabo by saying like, don't worry about me, just leave me behind. You need to escape. And Sabo's like, no, I'm not. I won't do that. I'm gonna. If you're alive, I can save you. We still have a chance. And King Cobra's like, no, you have to go. I have to. One of us has to escape and deliver this message. I need you to send this message to Luffy and Vivi. And Sabo's like, oh, you want me to tell him something? And then he says, tell them we share the moniker D. And this really catches Sabo off guard here. But he continues here saying, Cobra continues, I know what Alabasta must do, what path we must take. And we get this brief flashback here. Wait, excuse me. So we get this flashback here where Sabo, Luffy, and Ace were the kids. And he's talking about their names. And Sabo's asking them, like, you both have a D in your name, but you're not related? Is that just some kind of coincidence? And I think it's Luffy there. I think is first saying, yeah, maybe there is. Look at even little kid here. I think Luffy must have the Gumu Gumu no Mi by now. Oh, what's it called now? It's not really that anymore. It's the Sun God fruit. But he's like pushing a bunch of meat together in his mouth. Like it looks like he's got two chicken breasts or something like that and forcing them in. And Sabo's just pulling on a piece of meat like that normally. So, and Sabo, not Sabo, I mean Ace is doing that part. And Ace is like, who cares if there's a D in a name? It's just a name. And I think it's Luffy that next says, why, do you want a D in your name, Sabo? Wait, what is Sabo's last name? He's part of that royal family. And Luffy says, "You can be Sadbo." What? Sadbo? Is that how that reads? Sadbo. Oh, he just changed it to Sadibo would probably be how supposed to say that, but it looks like Sadbo. It's printed. And Sabo's like, "Oh, what do you? Don't put my name like. Why'd you put the D in my name like that?" And that's the end of the. We get the end of the that little flashback there. So while we go back to Sabo running, and that mysterious pointed tentacle tail, devil's tail, I guess I'm going to call it. It looks like it looks more like a how a devil's tail is sometimes drawn, the typical depiction with the with the pointy. Is that the right way? Let me look at that a second. Devil. Let's see. No, come on. This is still playing in the background too. Hold on a second. Where's my keyboard? Come on. Images. I want to pull up something quickly. Is that what I'm thinking of? Yeah, exactly. The devil's tail with the little pointy. That this thing that stabbed Cobra looks like that, and it comes back. It's pursuing them again. We don't see where it's stemming from either. I'm wondering if that's an extension of Imu because it's very dark color. It's completely black, and so far with Imu, all we've seen is in this black silhouette. Oh, actually, no, it looks like it's one of those creatures. No, Mike, it's the next panel. So this thing's coming after them, and it stabs Sabo this time to stop him from running, and knocks them apart. And Cobra gets up here, and with one last to defend him to help Sabo escape by stopping this creature. It looks like this blob one. There was one that looked kind of like a blob, I think. And it's yeah, it was the one. It was the. I should go back a minute. When it shows these things around Sabo, there was like 5 of them. Wait a minute. Are they supposed to be the Gorosei? Oh, I completely forgot something too here. Oh my god, I skipped a whole panel here. So when Sabo comes out and uh, saved Cobra, he threw a fire fist at the Gorosei. I completely forgot this. I was like going down. He fire fists the Gorosei, and then he tries to send a flame attack at Eam, and he blocks it somehow here. Or like, oh, he like swallows it. I think we see that's what that panel is. This panel looks like Eam's mouth, and it looks like a monster, and you can see his eye. It's a side panel, and he looks like he swallowed the flame up from Sabo. These creatures must be the Gorosei. I just realized, duh. There's 5 of them. So one looks like a bird. That's the only one that looks like an animal. One has on the left has devil horns. The one in the back almost has a Grim Reaper look to it. I can't tell if it's got a scythe, kind of like a Grim Reaper. And the other one's got weird horns too, but they come out horizontally. And then there's one up on the wall that looks like a big ghostly thing, but it's all dark. That's got to be the Gorosei in some kind of form. So there's some kind of zone users, maybe some demon zones. They look like some kind of demonic zones. I bet that's what they're supposed to be. I bet there's some kind of, since we got god zones and other things, and we got mythical creatures like what Marco is. It makes sense maybe. Oh, completely forgot about that. Oh boy, that's a bad way to do a review. Miss a panel. So back to what Cobra and him are fleeing, and one of the Gorosei monsters stab Sabo there, and they both fling apart from a distance from each other. And then so Cobra gets up and he yells something here, but it looks like it's been purposely blocked out so we can't read it. He does some kind of statement. Fly the poneglyphs, fly the flags, herald the world's eventual dawn. Oh, I think he's reading the letter that Nefertiri, Lily said, because then he says, he finishes it like he's reading the letter out loud. Nefertiri D. Lily. Oh, he must have said that loud so that Sabo would hear it. And he's like, I'm counting on you, Sabo. And then we don't see exactly what happens next. But Sabo looks really upset, and he screams King Cobra, and he yells again. I think you must live. Cobra looks like he yells again. You must live on. And the next thing we see is Sabo must have escaped, and we just see the Gorosei monster, the Reaper one or whatever, standing over Cobra's body, and we realize, oh, what's going on here? Come on, keep getting text. What are you telling me for? Never mind. So what happens next is we find out where how Wapol got involved in this. He was peeking in through a hole. He was peeking in a hole to look into the throne room. Like he must have made that himself somehow. And he saw King Cobra get killed, the final blow by one of the monsters. And he's like, "Fuck!" He realizes, "Fuck! I've been spotted." And then the girls they hear him there, and he backs away from this hole and like, "Oh shit! I just saw them kill King Cobra." Uh and then he says something here like, "I didn't like that. I didn't even like him, but like, what? This is terrible. They went and killed him." And then he's like realizing, "Oh shit! They're gonna. I just saw something that he must have saw something with Emu too, because like I just stumbled upon the biggest thing the government would not want anyone to see." Oh god, yeah. He's like realized they're gonna end me now. So now we cut away from that, and we are going to we go to the wait a second. Let me just check something. Is that stream even working? Why am I even checking? Yeah. So we cut over here now to the meeting with the other let me pull it up here. The other Reverie monarchs, and they're like wondering why they're like, okay, well, Wapol and Cobra don't seem like they're gonna join us, so let's just proceed this meeting today without them. And then we get some of these couple of these kings kind of chastising Cobra. We got this guy that looks kind of like Abe Lincoln here, and he's like, oh, maybe that speech he gave earlier has just drained him too much. And you get some other dorks over there laughing with that at his laughing at Lincoln's comment here. And then one of them goes on, maybe he considers his job done now that he's got what he wanted with the dissolution of the um, warlords. So then they just like, all right, we're gonna just move on to the other matters that are on our agenda for today. And then they go on to point out something. Oh, they point out something interesting too. So we get a little tidbit of some other stuff happening here. So in these, there's four northern nations wanna the coalition. Wait, is that the right? What is that? Wait a second. Shit. No, I want this a second. Hold on. There's something here I should have looked up before. Is that what I think that it is? A coalition. Yeah. Oh yeah. So the last thing they're talking about here is that some four nations, northern nations, want to are calling for independence, and they want to form a coalition. Oh, is that because they're going to try and leave the world government? Can you just leave the world government? Is that what they're going on about? I think so. So it looks like Reverie, they discuss matters like that. Wait, where's my chapter? Shit. Come on, there we go. So we finish off here this scene. We finish this next scene. We just briefly see that Shirahoshi and her brothers are leaving. That it looks. Well, actually, no. Yeah, they're leaving, but no, their father's still there in the room. But with that meeting I just mentioned, and we briefly see him and Riku, probably wondering why Cobra didn't come back to the meeting. And then the next scene we see her Shirahoshi and her brothers leaving the Reverie. They're probably like, we gotta get out of here because those we just caused that incident with that Charlos. We probably want to get out of here before we get in trouble again. Uh, and Shirahoshi's just like, oh, that's too bad. We gotta go right now. I wanted to say goodbye to Vivi. So last time we just saw VV2, we saw her with Rob Lucci. Now we found out what's going on here. So apparently, when the Gorosei knew that Cobra was going to come talk to them, and they probably had suspicions they were going to have to get rid of him, they already planned ahead on this, and they had the friggin' CP0 kidnap Vivi. Because the next thing we see her tied up somewhere in their in a room in Pangea Castle, and here we see some of the other former CP9 agents back again. We start with Jabra and Khalifa. Is that how you say your name again? It's been a while. So then if friggin' so Jabra's like, she's like demanding, of course, to be free. Like, why free me? What are you tying me up for? And Jabra's like, ha, you better be quiet if you want any chance of getting out of here. But then Khalifa says, I'm afraid you're not gonna get out of here. Once, and she goes on like, once your disappearance is made known, you're probably gonna live the rest of your life as a pet. Ugh. How can you just say that so casually? What a bitch. I don't think Nami lightning bolt this bitch enough. So I'm assuming here they're gonna make sure she disappears. As far as like she's never gonna make it back to Alabasta, and it sounds like the way Khalifa says this, she's gonna have one of those celestial dragons gonna take her in as a slave. And then she's like gets so not Nami. Why did I say that? Vivi thing's like, is Shirahoshi okay? Uh, then the others are like, hey, you're worried about her right now when you're all tied up. On the other hand, we did hear about that she was involved with some problem earlier, but she's okay as far as we know. And we get this shot here where we see the rest of the CP0 agents, the former CP9. We see Bluno. I can't think of the other one's name. There's the one with the big mouth, the teeth one, and the one with the hair. They're all there eating at a table, it looks like. Uh, oh yeah, you can see him behind when Jabra and Khalifa are the ones basically watching her. And I see that Bluno was right behind them. Uh, so Jabra goes on and tell her what happened there. What happened here? We get some other interesting stuff through this a little bit. So Jabra tells her like, uh, Jabra tells her like, oh, she was saved by these punks that were members of Straw Hat's fleet, and you get a little thing showing oh, what's their name? The one Grimjow. No, what's that dude's name? Oh, let me get their names a second. I cannot remember their. I should have pulled these tabs out. Oh, here we go. So what's it? The Tontata. I know one's a Tontata. Yeah, Leo and Sai. Sorry, they're there. So he shows. We see a little image of them. Uh, so when Jabba was explaining, they were the ones that knocked out Charlos, and then we go on to find something interesting here that during the slaves escaping with the other captains of the Revolutionary Army, that it appears that Admiral Fujitora actually aided in them escaping and didn't let Green Bull pursue them. Yeah, he says Jabba just explains it by saying that Fujitora's actions helped the Revolutionary Army and the slaves escape or free the slaves. And then that ended up around what's his real name? Rio Goku? I can't say it right. I'm gonna call him Green Bull for now. So Green Bull and him ended up having a scuffle over that. But I'm wondering now if this gets to Akainu. I have a feeling that they're probably going to be kicking a Fujitora out of the Navy soon, because after he let Straw Hats escape, even though like Fujitora had made like a plausible excuse, but I'm sure Akainu obviously didn't believe it. So now he's helped the Revolutionary Army. This has got to be the last straw for him. So Jabra's like, geez, there's a lot of excitement with this year's Reverie. I can't believe it got this exciting. And he's just sitting back and relaxing there. And while that's happening, Vivi's like trying to plan how she's going to escape. And help comes in a very unexpected form here. As she looks to her right, she hears noise through the wall, because they're in this room inside the castle somewhere. It looks like must be like a little break room for them, for the CP9. So Wapol comes out of nowhere. Wait, let me pull it up here. Wapol's like running away. I don't know if someone's pursuing him. Is someone actually pursuing him? Oh yeah, I think the Gorosei monsters are chasing him because he's running through the wall, chewing his way through his wall, right? Because he can eat through things with that fruit he's got. He's running away, screaming like, "I didn't see anything. Leave me alone. Spare me!" And he bashes in the wall there, scaring. It looks like he knocks Jabber down, and he's heading right toward Vivi there. And Vivi takes this opportunity to how did she get on his back? She ends up on his back, and does she like get him to untie her? So and then Vivi escapes with him there somehow, and he keeps running through the other walls, and we see these CP90 agents, Bluno and Khalifa and the others, all still in shock, and I'm like, wait, was that King Wapo? What the hell's going on? And then they realize Vivi got away with her, with him. Oh, they fucked up. They've probably been demoted by now because this was like a month ago, right? And now we get to the last scenes here where we see Wapo's wife. Like, hey, I've been looking for you. What's going on? And who's that young lady? And so Vivi's on his back. Oh no, I think she's in his mouth. She must have jumped in his mouth, and he didn't chew her up, fortunately. And she's like, Wapo, how far are you gonna keep running? And he's like, after what I just saw, I'm running to the ends of the earth if I have to. And Vivi's like, well, that works for me. And the last panel is just Wapo's wife, interpreting the situation as if Wapo's running off with a mistress, that being Vivi. What's her name? So that's the end of the chapter. Oh, that was a good way to end a very dark chapter. I can't help but laugh at that after the serious shit we just happened. So fuck. Now we know what happened to King Cobra, and he's a D member. Okay, there's something here I wanted to go over first. I think so. Something here. Vivi's disappearance. I mean, not Vivi. Lily's disappearance here implies to the way it's going. I'm implying this is that at some point when she left the world government to go back to Alabasta, the way where Cobra was presenting this story in the last chapter, that point she must have already became essentially a traitor to the world government. She must have done something, probably with those poneglyphs, and that's why she never made it back. I'm assuming she got taken out somehow, or maybe she went into hiding, something like that. Because here, because Imu says directly here, you to Cobra. I know you didn't say Nefertiri Lily's full name, so why don't you do it? Why don't you tell everyone here? And so wait, where was I gonna pull up about that? I want to pull up something. Oh yeah, Wapol. I want to see who Wapol's wife is. Oh, her name is Kinderella. And the Evo Black Drum. That's right. The King of a New Queen. Yeah. So that last scene was that Kinderella. Yeah, search this wiki. Here we go. Yeah, there she is. Okay. Yeah, she looks like some kind of cutthroat corporate woman who just married him because he had that corporation. What's he make, toys or something again? I forget now. So, anyways, um, holy shit. Yeah, the D thing. Sorry, got way off topic. Lily, Lily clearly helped. So I'm thinking here that Lily regretted her actions in helping the world government defeat the ancient kingdom. Maybe she was lied to about their intent when the war started. And so when the war was over and the other monarchs were consolidating their power, she decided and establishing, probably building up what they would become the world government. They're going to build up these bureaucracies. They had to probably sit down and they probably had their own little reverie. These 20 monarchs, and they were talking about the other 19 is, and they were talking about what they were going to do. They're going to establish these different bureaucracies that have to run things. We have to set up a prison eventually. We have to make these. We have to get our military and make Marine HQ and Ennie's lobby. Uh, I'm assuming at this point then, so Lily probably was regretting what happened and had started to formulate a plan and put it into action of how she was going to undermine the world government's power by getting the poneglyphs that Imu who seems to imply that they had them in their possession, and Lily got them and probably dispersed them or had others help her disperse them, I'm sure. Yes. So even interestingly here, Emu doesn't fully know the way Emu presents it. Like, was it a mistake or an actual plan? So even though Lily, so also it makes me wonder: did they maybe not catch Lily, or if they did, maybe she ended up being executed before she could divulge whatever plan she had? Because clearly she wasn't like taken back to the others, or maybe Emu, if Emu was there too, because Cobra implies Emu is the name of one of the other monarchs from the founding of the world government. Um, how do I put that? So, um, where was I going with that? So yeah, somehow the Lily's plan was successful to quite the I don't know if she fully successful in part, and sounds like to get the poneglyphs out of the world government's hands and spread them across the world to keep them safe. She must have had one of those shipped back to Alabasta then, because there was that one underneath. Was that underneath their castle or some other structure at Alabasta? There's the one there where Crocodile and Robin go to with Cobra, and Robin's just reading off parts of it that talk about the history of Alabasta. So I'm wondering if that one got shipped there. Maybe that one was with her. Maybe she did drop it off there, but if that's the case, she must have kept her presence on going back to Alabasta a secret, because Cobra implies she never made it back. But the way Emu brings up the stuff with the poneglyphs makes me think that she could have, unless she had somebody else take them there, because it's clearly that the poneglyphs are all over the place, and they didn't like. Emu was very upset by that. Um, Also, what I want to go over next is the scene with the these creatures. I'm sure there's got to be that's got to be the Gorosei, aren't they? They look like there's some kind of creatures. Cause also to see the next panel, you can't really confirm that really, because when you see this panel, Ace jumps in there. The part I missed, where he uses a fire fist, and it almost looked like it worked. Like we see the five Gorosei. He jumps between where the Gorosei are and Cobra, and we see Cobra's behind Sabo. He's flying backwards as Cobra's laying down a fire fist, or he does it with his left hand. Either way, and it looks like it works on the Gorosei. They almost look like they're getting all burned up there, because there's all this white flash, and they're some of holding their hands up, probably from the light. And the next panel, he's standing there, like I said, protecting Cobra, and you see all five of these things. At first, when I saw this, I thought that these were things that Eames summoned, because right before Sabo comes in with the fire fist attack, that one tail, the devil's tail, comes in and had attacked Cobra and pierced his stomach area, it looks like, right after Cobra says aloud his ancestor's real name, D. Lily, Nefertiti, etc. So I thought Emu had summoned that thing, that tail, that maybe like the black thing he's got some power of darkness, but I think so. I'm thinking one of the Gorosei did that. Wait, where were the Gorosei standing next to him? Yeah, because they were standing next to him. Three of them were on his left. Saint J, looks like Saint J, Samurai Gandhi, and maybe the young one, Sabo. What is taking name that one? Sanji's uncle. No, Pinky. So this implication here, what I said implied before. Now that I'm looking at where the Gorosei are standing, although one of them's holding a gun still, so I thought they were about to shoot him. But now the way I'm looking at this, that those three Gorosei were on that same side of Cobra, where we seen a page later where that dark devil's tail pierces him. So I wonder if that was one of them, but they hadn't I can't tell if they probably hadn't transformed yet, because when we see the next panel with Sabo using Fire Fist, they still look like they're in human form. But then next we see the five things behind Sabo, which I'm sure must be the Gorosei. So yeah, this looks like those things. One of them did that. What the fuck are they? They're all dark. And the one looks like, yeah, one has a horned. Wait a minute, is that the one? One, two, I'm trying to line up. So one of them, when the next panel when Savo's running, one of them's got like a big mouth, like it's a giant thing that could just swallow you up. And the one with the one with the devil horns never shows it with a mouth. Yeah, and then the one that clearly looks like a bird. So that one's got a mouth. Very interesting designs. So holy shit, what the fuck? And Imu talks. God damn it. So Imu is very upset here. He doesn't seem to be. I don't know if he cares about that letter though. I was thinking he was going to ask for the letter from Cobra, but oh yeah. So it does. I wonder if he was gonna if they're gonna try and find that letter. It almost seems like that sounds like something that Emu would want, but all he ever does here is ask Cobra to say the full name of Lily. So, but does that mean that? Yeah, that must be. So did that mean did the brother of Lily have? He must have had the D name too. The Nefertari clan must have the D. I wonder if that means Lily's brother, from that point on, when he found out that she disappeared or perhaps was killed, um, deliberately hid. I wonder if she like sent him a letter telling him or something. What I'm getting is maybe they must have deliberately took the D out of the name from now on, so that not the big to kind of hide that, like, but Emu knows it, but somehow, but yeah, because we never heard Vivi. We always just saw, oh, it's Vivi Nefertiri, but yeah. So I'm thinking the brother decided from there on that although his descendants were not use the D anymore, he probably hid from all his descendants that the D. No, he couldn't have hit it because that letter has been being passed down. So they must have known to some extent, but maybe he started informing his children and the children that we can't use the D openly anymore. And I'm betting that Cobra probably thought about this after finding out Luffy's name when he saved Alabasta and everyone from Crocodile's plan 2 years ago. Like, okay, there's this kid who was like claims to be a pirate, but he heroically stood up and helped my country, and his name is Monkey D. Luffy. Just like my ancestor, Monkey Nefertari D. Lily. Yeah, I'm thinking of something like that, where he's like realized there's something going on here. I have to talk to the Gorosei about that, which is I'm a little surprised he got bold enough to do that. If he must, I'm thinking he should have realized this is too dangerous to do, to present this information to them, because they're gonna they're if this is what I think it is, I'm dead. Well, at least that's how I see it. So what else did Emu even say here? Yeah, the worst possible outcome. So he's really upset about the poneglyphs. Also, what's this ancient enemy? Is that referring to someone? Was the D clan some like the head? It must be something in the ancient kingdom. Whether like an elite group among the D clan, among the kingdom that was holding out against the ancient kingdom. I mean the world government. We still don't know what it means. So, but Emu here clearly does as well. It points out that the descendants, the D clan descendants like Luffy and Blackbeard, don't even know its meaning. So clearly Emu does. Also, goddamn, look how steep those steps are in front of the throne. They do not look like steps that you could actually climb there easily. Even with those like little, they got like it looks like those handrails, but Jesus, that is a steep look from where Eam is sitting with the girl saying Cobra down below. Also, we can get a good look at some of these swords there. That one looks like a cutlass. That one looks a couple. That looks kind of like a one of those. At least how it looks in the movies, like one of those Roman glad. Is that Gladys? The Roman army swords. That one. Wait, wait. Where's that swords again? Wait, where'd it go? That one's an. Oh, there's actually an axe there. One of the monarchs had an axe as a weapon, and it's left there to the left of Imu. And that one's a sword. Or it looks like a standard, some long sword perhaps. It's got a guard that looks familiar to other swords. That one there looks like a could be a rapier, possibly because it got looks like it's got that big guard for point protection against stabs. And that's all you can really see. You can see the other blades, but that's interesting. That one's a cutlass. That one's an axe. Those two. That one looks like the Roman sword. Yeah, clearly these ancient monarchs, the world government monarchs, were all like different, had different preferred weapons. So most of them are still swords. So actually, that's something interesting too. Is that just ceremonial swords? Because you don't see a lot of like swords is something you always see when you like look at monarchs who like in European history. They often are armed back before like the Enlightenment era in history. Kings usually walked around armed because they were like also the general of their armies, and they went out and fought and defended their countries a lot. And I'm wondering, but in One Piece world, swords don't seem to be used a lot except by specific people like Zoro or Mihawk, who are professional swordsmen. So I'm wondering if some of these weapons were more like ceremonial to the kings and queens that owned them and then left them there in front of the throne. Anyways, that's all I got now. I think I'm gonna switch this stream and start playing a little bit of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Should I just keep the stream going and then just start it over or start it over? I'm not sure the best way to do that. I think I'm gonna stop it and start it over. I need to also just have a little break here before I jump into that. But if you're still watching, if anyone's watching, I'm gonna stream the game Tears of the Kingdom for a little bit. Uh, so thanks for watching this stream, and I'll upload this later onto YouTube uh, with some timestamps and such. Uh, Anyways, yeah, I'll be back in a moment.